placed under arrest and charged with disorderly conduct.
We are an independent podcast that focuses on the worst of military crimes and the victims and the voices left behind in their wake.
Views by the hosts and guests are our own and do not reflect those of our sponsors or employers.
We do our best with accuracy, but please rely on this information at your own risk.
Episode may contain sensitive subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
When Justice Goes AWOL is not affiliated with the military in any way.
Last week I covered the case of Whitney Decker and the loss of her 3 daughters, Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn. They were unalived by their ex-military father, Travis Decker. Be sure to follow, hit that subscribe button for future military crime updates, and we've got a couple of interesting cases coming up, so you're going to want to stay tuned. I have the privilege of interviewing a military wife and mother whose husband served, whose grandfather served, and has graciously agreed to let me interview her about current problems that veterans are facing and how accessible services are for them to obtain. Okay. Thank you so much for being willing to join me tonight. I appreciate you being willing to work with me on this. Do you want to introduce yourself for everybody?
My name is Michelle Villarreal.
All right. Everyone say hello to Michelle. So you are a military spouse, correct?
Yes, my husband is out of the military now, but I was actually his POC, point of contact, while he was deployed. So I worked with the military as well. I was born on a military base because my grandfather, my father, my parents all have been children of military vets. So
wow. So it's in your blood, you could say, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you know a lot about like the systems that are in place to help veterans once they exit the military, like reintegration programs and things that should be available to a lot of veterans out there. How would you say, how easy is it to get resources for veterans, like regardless of status?
I think that it can be a challenge. It can be tricky. And a lot of veterans say that their experience is that it feels like they're just hung out to dry. And like it is really hard to take advantage of the services and benefits that they are due. And that the Army says that they have available for them. I know that there is lots of money spent and lots of intentions to help service members acclimate, transition into being private citizens again. And I know that it isn't always easy.
No. Yeah. When you couple things like PTSD and trauma and just the wear and tear it takes on your body, I can't imagine that there's like a lot of energy left to like go seek those sources on your own. Like you need an advocate or something.
A lot of the soldiers getting out of the military are doing so different than they were going in. And some of them really struggle with mental health. And even without having to try to figure out the system and jump through all the hoops and hope that it's easy, they struggle.
And that is so unfair for them. Like, you know, especially the veterans that we celebrate, you know, the ones that join the services because, you know, they really do want to protect their country and the people in it. And it's, you know, it's important to them, you know, as their role as a warrior and taking on that code. Yeah. But, so with this government shutdown, how easy would you say it's going to be for veterans to seek out a lot of those services?
If it's already difficult, I think it'll only make a difficult thing more challenging. If the employees they're trying to help offer services aren't even being paid, I find that they're not going to be able to go and get that job done well. I'm hoping, you know, that service members aren't just out here with nothing and they are still able to get help. But I can't imagine it's better.
I'm sure that a lot of veterans rely on food stamp benefits too. Like as they get older and their income becomes more fixed, it's really an issue.
I do think a lot of aging vets definitely need to take advantage of the systems in place for them that they have paid into their entire life. And it is a shame that they will go without.
Yeah, and we've seen the consequences of what can happen when people go without. My most recent episode of this podcast was dealing with the Whitney Decker and her daughters, Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn. I got to hear more about their story and just the just the struggles that the mother experienced, even with legal representation. Her attorney came out and made statements saying that, this was a system failure, not just with Washington State Patrol, but with the VA and trying to get benefits for her husband and trying to get those resources.
He was left homeless, and many, many vets are.
Hmm.
And it puts people in a mindset of struggle, panic. And I don't know that there would be such desperate actions had he felt like he had maybe some support or mental health. I'm not sure. I can't speak to his particular problems, but I know a lot of veterans wish that maybe they had felt a little more supported.
Yeah, and more guided too, just to seek out these resources because you've tried to seek out benefits through the VA.
For my husband, but also for my own grandfather. And it is an absolute challenge. And I actually heard from many other veterans how they needed to request help from the mayor in some instances to try to get paperwork pushed through the system, which is really backed up, understaffed, underfunded, and not simple. It isn't straightforward. It's a lot of rigmarole, and sometimes people just get discouraged
Yeah, are
and go without.
are there any denials and appeals processes that people would have to go through to just get benefits? Like,
I think that veterans in general can attest to there being loads of denials and postpones and pushback on every little claim they ever make.
yeah, and you go to the military website and they have these little blips on there about, how much veteran health matters to them, how much the veteran suicide hotline, like how important that is, and
Well,
it
it is.
is.
It is.
But then you have a statement about the government shutdown saying that, people won't be paid if you're a civilian employee, if you're non-essential or non-necessary, you won't be paid, and they're expected to just keep performing their duties.
And I'm scared for families and I'm scared for soldiers that those resources won't be available to them while the shutdown is in place or while there is no funding in areas that are definitely necessary.
Definitely. And it just how unfair to actually, join the military expecting that they will help take care of you, and you have a claim and it gets denied by the very system that swore it was going to take care of you.
It is so unfair
Do
and
you,
it's really sad.
it is it is awful, and it is so discouraging for other people. And do you think that that has affected like recruitment rates at all, or people's willingness to join active service now?
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah. It's sad to think about, but we need to draw attention to it because it is happening, and the people that have put in their time and put in their energy and have literally fought wars to protect us are not getting help.
Yeah, veterans definitely need to be prioritized. Mental health is such a big one, but also helping our aged veterans who need medical help. And they struggle with lots of service related illnesses and things that carry on into their older age. And I'd love to see maybe a little more attention on that.
Yeah, like what's one area of service for veterans, like on the medical side of things, that surprised you that other people may not think about?
I was surprised sitting in the military hospital at how many service members who are older, who are dealing with podiatry problems, who are losing their limbs, their feet and legs to problems that are compounded by diabetic issues and other issues from
tight
service.
tight boots, and I can't imagine that's good for your blood circulation to your legs. So
Right. And these men are all in wheelchairs or unable to walk. And then you talk about their quality of life,
yeah,
and the length of life that they get to have after that is shortened as well.
and yeah, and just there's no that's not living at that point. That's survival. And they're already used to that. Have been having been in a war zone or being prepared for a war zone. They're used to that already.
Yeah, but it's not flashy and it's not exciting, so it doesn't make the front page news.
It,
But veterans' issues are very important, and their families care about them. And I'd love to see more attention.
yeah, and I think the more attention that we would give to issues like that, the more improvement in things like morale and camaraderie we would see, because people would know that if you serve our country, we will serve you when it is time to take care of you.
Well, and that ought to be the way it is. I think it's the way the establishment in general has intended it to be, but I don't know that that's the way it goes always.
Yeah. It sounds good in theory, but then you
Mhm.
get into all these loopholes and bureaucracies that you have to go through, and it can get frustrating.
Yes.
Yeah. I had to sign up for my own health insurance, and that was bad enough. Just yeah.
Well, well,
Yeah.
and some of the older crowd really struggle with the signing up online for things and the paperwork and the appointments and the transportation issues. It really compounds delays and complicates what should, in theory, be an easy process, and it isn't always.
Yeah, access to technology too, like you said, a lot of the older veterans, it's like I know guys who have never sent an email in their life, and they're happier that way. So, yeah, they think it's all superfluous, and I'm just like, I'm starting to agree with you on that, actually.
But it doesn't always serve them, and they can't get their needs met.
No.
They need help.
Yeah, and I think, it's really, it starts locally. You want to be there for your neighbor, and you learn more about the families that become involved in your life, and it really does take a village to help families rear other families. And you got to feel supported in that. And especially with military families, like there's a bond there because you have people who are actively defending, and
Absolutely.
you understand what, that is like, just, the sacrifice that comes with it, being a military spouse, and oftentimes being, the only household member there because duty calls.
That is challenging. Military families go through a lot as well.
Yeah. And that
Mhm.
separation can't make it easier.
No.
No. Yeah. Especially when there's kiddos involved. I always love seeing those home videos where the baby's like waving to dad and
Hmm.
yeah. Or the mom sees the dad with the kid on the shoulders. There's a video of that or something.
I love to watch the videos of soldiers coming home.
Oh, that is
The
so cute.
reunited videos are the sweetest.
I love it when they do it in the classroom because the kid's not even paying attention. One of the kids like picks their nose or something and turns around. It's like, Dad, get your finger out of there. But yeah, and it starts at a community level, just being, supportive neighbors,
Yeah.
having community, and really coming together when things get tough. I mean, I'm gonna get started helping out with a food drive. We're
Excellent.
Yeah, we're having a contest by weight, so we're gonna see how many cans weigh up to like whose donation matches up to what, and it's all about bragging rights. That's pretty
Ah,
much it. There's
well,
no
that's a good
prize.
motivator.
Oh yeah, it's a motivator. Just like, I'm the most generous of us. But yeah, it just, I really appreciate you being willing to talk to me about this. And, being a first-hand eyewitness to these issues and being willing to talk about them and say they exist.
Yeah, soldiers, service members, their issues are close to my heart because they are my own. And I hate to see the struggle, but I love to see any attention brought to the issues so that more people can decide maybe there could be some improvements made in the systems.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will keep doing what I'm doing and shedding light on important issues. And, it's great to have you as a friend and a resource to help me along with this, because you really have.
Well, thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate everything that you're doing to shine lights where they need shown.
Yeah, like E.T.'s finger, just but with a spotlight on bad behavior. Ouch. I truly thank the women and the men of our armed forces who put their lives on the line to protect us and are willing to go to war to save our families and our communities. You are the good ones. You are the ones we should be fighting for. And you are the ones that we should definitely take care of. Next week, we are examining the case of Michael Stockin, an anesthesiologist from Madigan Army Medical Center who took advantage of his victims while they were at their most vulnerable. I'm Nicole Charcoti, and I'll see you guys again next week on the next episode of When Justice Goes AWOL. Take care.